Previously on the Salvager. There's a fleet that's coming in, and we see both of them kind of square off, style that they did for Battlestar Galactica. And caught square in the middle of this thing is Penny for your thoughts. We need to check to see if anybody has laid claim to this as salvage yet. So I think it's very unlikely. So it's an 8. We can see that like a smaller ship has been docked to like the main side cargo airlock. You think anybody is still on the ship? I think it is likely. Maybe we can get permission to come aboard, in which case it bypasses the claim rights law. Let's do that. So we're gonna roll 26 or higher. Oh, just won't let me do anything. Okay, so then we're left with the less cool idea of we're gonna communicate with the Salvager to ask if we can get permission to board just to take what we need from the ship. But we have a problem, which is we need to get there before somebody in this fight outside gets wise or gets frustrated with the fact that these two salvages are just ignoring them, and nobody's listening to them, and somebody's gonna send a stray rocket our way pretty soon here. Welcome back. Session 3 now. A couple of record keeping pieces from session 2. Number 1, we had two new characters. Kieran Kai, that's the Salvager captain, who's armed and indifferent towards us. Let us come on, even though they have a claim to the ship. But then we also met this weird person, this Kyler Arden, that we rolled up. The shifty and thieving person with the doomed kind of crazy weird personality that was trying to steal things from the room. And at the time we said, oh yeah, obviously just a member of Kieran's crew, but I don't know that for a fact. So actually, instead of just making that decision, because it could be interesting if this is actually a member of the ship's crew and not a member of Kieran's crew, Salvaging crew. So we're going to make a roll on this one right now, and we're just going to do a 50-50. If it's 51 or above, he is a member of the crew, of the ship's crew, Penny for your thoughts crew. Otherwise, he's a member of Kieran's crew. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll it up. Okay, so higher. So it's a member. So Kyler is actually a member of the Penny for your thoughts crew. The only one we've been able to find so far. That's interesting. But again, Roland doesn't know that yet. We're still gonna assume Roland's still thinking, oh yeah, we haven't been able to find anybody, and it's kind of a weirdo. And he was trying to steal things clearly. So he's probably just a member of Kieran's crew. But we're going to mark here that this is a Penny for your thoughts crew. Perfect. Okay. And then the second piece is that I have an idea of what Kieran is here for. And it's a bit darkish, but we're going to see how it goes. It could be interesting, and I think it fits well with Roland's background of trying to help people. So we're going to park that for a minute. I did roll up the begin a session move, and what we got is a flashback reveals an aspect of your character's background or nature. So what we have here is that we get a flashback and this is kind of the scene start at the beginning of our episode after the title rolls through, and it immediately starts with the vignette kind of filter on the front of our camera, and we're seeing Roland much younger, less gray hair. Doesn't have a beard, and probably is in his 30s or something, as compared to his current 45 or whatever it is. And he is aboard a transport ship that's been broken down. We're kind of getting some montage scenes as they're coming in. Maybe we hear that there's been a transport ship that's broken down, and Kieran and maybe another, or not Kieran, Roland and one of his friends at the time, they go to check it out. They go on board the ship. They're looking around. They can't find anybody. We're getting the montage of they're all kind of Roland is peeking through all the different rooms, looking around, doesn't see anybody. And then it fast forwards a bit. Days go by. They're looking around the area. They're checking the logs. They're seeing if there's anybody who's escaped the ship, and they never find them. And we can see that this is weighing on Roland, that he can't find this crew, and how much it's kind of hurting him. And maybe as we get the flashback, it's him trying to argue with his friend. No, we have to keep looking. We have to keep looking. And maybe we get like the echo. We have to keep looking, look. And then he flashes back into to the ship. So now you know, and the camera cuts back over to the hallway that he was in, that we just last left him on, in the A Penny for Your Thoughts. And it's that ringing. Where's the crew? The crew. Where's the crew? Is still ringing in his head, and we can see that he never found that crew, and it weighed heavy on him, and that's something that's just kind of popped back up in his mind right now. Also, we checked the clock advances, and we have to ask the question with our clocks, and the only clock we have up right now is the Make the Kindred Sons Angry, and we can either roll on it or we can decide. Once we get out of the situation, right now we're making anything that comes up as a miss or something that's really problematic, we'll advance this. And then eventually, if we don't, hopefully we don't finish this one out, finish this clock out by the time this gets done, you know, being in this area. But if it stays, we're going to keep it here. And then at the beginning, we'll decide what the advance roll is going to be for it. So like if we get a certain number higher, then it'll advance. But for now, we just said automatically, yes, it advances because we're pissing them off just being here. Okay. So that takes us back to the hallway, and the active progress things that we're looking at are the making our way through Penny for Your Thoughts, the missing cargo. We have 6 progress now. We only really need 1 more to go, and that gives us 9 since it's troublesome, and then we can try to make a roll for it again and see how badly we roll. And then our active vow here that we're trying to go after is swearing on iron to recover the lost goods from A Penny for Your Thoughts. So let's go ahead and continue on. But before we make this roll, I feel like we can kind of like hear a shuffling behind us. You know, we're looking around, and we know that person was back there that we just met. Kyler, I think was his name. Yep, Kyler. And we look around, we don't see him. You know, we're kind of walking a little bit, and then we hear something again. We turn around, we still don't see him. And so maybe we're thinking it's a crew. No, just, you know, it's our nerves. Also, the ship is still shaking as we're making our way through everything, because, you know, there's the battle that's still going on outside. Between the 2 factions, the Kindred Sons and the Jovian Security Brigade. I remember the names this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our roll. So we're going to pop over to Undertake an Expedition. And we're going to... We've been moving at speed up into this point, and I feel like after we just dealt with that, while we know we're on the clock, and while we know we have to move fast, I think rolling feels like we're moving too fast, and we need to slow down a little bit, and that flashback scene that we just experienced maybe makes them pause for a moment, and it gives them a chance to kind of, okay, it's gonna be okay. Let's just settle down. Let's be easy. We're gonna be good here, and we're gonna go ahead and continue our expedition, but we're gonna use our wits here because we're trying to stay vigilant. Maybe we're being a little more watchful, trying to look around and see where everything is at, trying to get a sense of our surroundings. You know, remembering our presence and our being. We work best when we're not rushing ourselves. So let's go ahead and roll up wits. And we don't get any kind of pluses or anything for this. So wits, roll it up. Oh, and our momentum's at a 1. Let's remember that so that we know when we roll horribly, we'll know just how much we need momentum. Okay, so it's a weak hit. So weak hit, Undertake an Expedition. It's as strong, but the progress is going to cost us. So we're going to reach a waypoint and vision the location and mark progress per the rank of our expedition. Okay, so we know that this is troublesome. So let's do a couple things first. Number 1, let's mark progress. Something, by the way, that the Diaz, somebody on YouTube had mentioned in one of the comments on the last video, was that in this tool, in the Stargazer tool, you can just hit the mark button over here, and this will bloop, 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 add everything for you. Really, really handy. So you don't have to keep... I kept having to go in and click on everything, so that's much easier way of doing it. So thank you very much for noting that. We're going to roll up our location that we're going to hit. And before we roll up the location, I'm gonna roll against this expedition piece to see if we get to where we want to go. Because we believed that the cargo was going to be in the cargo hold, and on a ship this size there may be multiple cargo holds. So we're going to go ahead and roll that one up. And it's going to give us a sense of where we need to go. If we roll poorly, then maybe something else comes up that causes problems for us. So let's remember that from a moment. But before we even get into that, we're stacking things. We're gonna make we're gonna unfortunately have to suffer a little bit here. So we're gonna take probably 2 suffer moves at a -1, and I know what one is going to be for sure. It's going to be spirit because we're gonna freak out. And the other one's actually going to be probably momentum because of the same of what's actually going to come up. So we're going to knock our momentum now down to 0, and our spirit is going down to a 1. We will probably try to make a resist move. We're going to see if we can endure this, because I don't want to be down at a spirit of 1, although that could drop us to a 0, which could be real bad. And what's happening here is what freaks us out is we have time. Roland has time to settle down. We're kind of moving our way through. We're coming up to where we think the cargo bay is. Maybe we're looking at the signs. We're going to start making a left, and we hear this voice, that same kind of harried and harrowed voice that's right like next to our ear. It's like right here, and it says, "Nope, shouldn't go that way. Shouldn't go that way. It's over here." And it's Kyler is right behind us and just scares the heck out of us, and that's gonna drop our spirit. And immediately, let's go ahead and make. So Kyler's been following us in a super creepy way. So let's go ahead and make an endure move here, because I want to see if we can not have to deal with this crap right now. Yeah, we are gonna try to make a suffer. So we're gonna try to endure stress, and we get to roll either spirit or heart, whichever is higher. And right now our heart is higher, so we're gonna take that. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's horrible, actually. So, oh, geez, that's really bad. So it's worse than we thought. We're going to suffer an additional -1 spirit, or we have to lose 2 momentum. And if our spirit is 0, thankfully it's not, then we have to get shaken. So we don't want to lose another one, because that will drop us a 0, and then we can start running into real problems. But we are going to lose our momentum. So this scares us so much. And now that we're in minuses, by the way, problems can start to happen. So if we start rolling 1s or 2s, I think for our action die, that can turn successes into misses. So that's bad. Okay. So envisioning our loss of momentum here, I think Roland is so surprised that he kind of has to catch his breath for a minute, because he's expecting these things to kind of pop out at any moment from these different corners that we're running into, especially with all these, or a hole to open up in the side of the ship. It just kind of freaks us out a little bit. And so we stop for a minute. We have to catch our breath. This is our loss of momentum. And we turn and we look at Kyler, and we're asking him like, "Oh, why are you falling? Just leave me alone. It doesn't, if you keep doing this, isn't your boss going to get angry at you? Shouldn't you be off stealing and taking something?" And maybe Kyler looks at us all confused, and he goes, Boss says, no, the boss man is missing. Boss man of the ship. Yeah, this ship. I'm a crew member of the ship. Yeah. And it's all mine. All the things they're all mine, because now they're gone, or they will be. Yeah. And he's like talking, 100 miles a minute kind of a thing. And we're letting him go as we're trying to catch our breath and easy down. And I think this is a good opportunity to see if we can maybe gain some of this momentum back. And we're going to try to maybe gather some information here. We want to try to talk to him a little bit, because it seems like now Roland knows, oh, this isn't one of Kieran's cronies, one of his guys. This is a member of the crew. So this is a perfect opportunity to be able to try to find something out. So let's go ahead and make the gather information move. Yeah, let's do this. So we're going to search for clues, ask questions, and we're going to roll plus wits. So let's do that right now. So let's get our wits, and let's see what we get. So bad. You remember we were talking about that -2 momentum we had? Well, the problem is we we have -2 momentum, and the die roll that we hit was a 2. We have to cancel the roll, and we only get the bonus. But thankfully, we still managed to roll a 1, so it does count as a weak hit, which is good. And I feel like we're, there's as Kyler is talking so fast, and as he's going through, it gives us a minute to recenter ourselves. And while we have this kind of moment of panic that comes up, we remember, no. Even in all of this craziness that's going on, we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. We're here to help people. And not just people in general, or people that are away from us, or people that we can't see, but there's this guy in front of us too. And he clearly, this Kyler is in need of some help as well. And so we're going to, and he's a member of the crew. And that was part of what we're trying to do, is try to figure out where the crew went, in addition to getting the cargo. So I think we try to easy him down. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, you're a member of the crew. Where's the crew at? And I think he stops for a minute. Kyler, he stops for a minute and he thinks and he says, the crew. And by the way, let's read what happens with the gather information on a miss. So, on a weak hit. So on a weak hit, the information is going to provide new insight, but then it's going to complicate our quests, and we're going to envision what we discover and take +1 momentum. So we're going to take our momentum, start building it back up again. That was getting dicey for a little bit there. That really could have hurt us. And I think this now introduces the idea that I had in mind after thinking from the last session of the crew isn't here. And we know that the other groups outside, especially the Kindred Sons, they didn't dock with this place, with the ship. So where did everybody go? And why is Kieran here? And why did he not care that we're coming aboard to take some cargo that might be valuable? And so I think what Kyler tells us is that, they're the ship, they're on the ship that's docked. The guy. Yeah, he said he wanted the people, and he said I could go as long as I stayed quiet. Yeah. So they're there, and again, this is like the pieces that we're getting as he's jumping all around like crazy, and we say, whoa, hold on a second. So you're saying the crew is with Kieran, the Salvager? And he goes, oh, Salvager. No, not Salvager. No. Well, maybe yes. He salvages. Yes, the people. Yes, he's taking the people. I don't know what he's doing with them, but he's not taking me. Because he said, this is my stuff. Yes, this is all my stuff now. And we see like some wildness in his eyes. And something is a little bit broken there. We can see this is not like him. He's not all there. But now we've learned something that's complicated. We now have an understanding of where the crew is at. The crew is being taken. Kieran isn't a parts salvager. Kieran is a people's trader. Trader is being very generous with that term. And we are not... Roland is not cool with that at all. Not even a little bit cool with this. And I think in the spirit of stupid decisions, we're going to do a few things right now. The first thing we're going to do is change starts with one person connecting with other real people. And we have a real person in front of us here, a real person that's hurting. It's clear. And there's this layer on top of kind of wild and crazy, and we can see that is there's some kind of coping that's going on here. And so we got to be able to help Kyler. It starts with Kyler. So we're going to do a few moves here before we move on. Number one, we are going to try to do our make a connection move with Kyler. Our change is going to start with Kyler. So let's go ahead and come over and take a look at our connection moves. And we are going to try to make Kyler a connection. So we're going to make a connection with Kyler. And let's go ahead and roll plus heart. So let's go ahead and get our rolls up. Heart. And a lot of this is happening over like just, looking at each other, like the slow pan out on Roland's face as he's watching Kyler talk about this stuff, and you can see the pain on his face. And so let's go ahead and roll our heart. It's a miss. Damn. You don't make the connection and the situation worsens. Pay the price. So I know exactly what's going to happen here. That's a bummer. I think we see this and we try to reach out to Kyler, and Kyler's not ready for it. He just lost his crew, potentially some good friends, maybe family, and he knows what's going to happen to them, and he's kind of buried that under a layer. And I think he can't take it, and he snaps and he runs. He bolts. And he runs down the hallway in the opposite direction. So like, we're going towards the cargo, and he runs the other way, dips in another corridor. He knows the ship better than we do. He is gone. Damn. Okay. Well, that sucks. But we're still going to follow through with our second part. And now I feel like it's even more important. We're going to make an iron vow right now. And our iron vow is going to be that we need to get these people, when I say these people, I mean the crew, of Penny for Your Thoughts to safety. We need to get the crew for Penny for Your Thoughts to safety. And we're gonna swear on iron right now. We hold our necklace with the iron circlet on it. We make this vow. So let's write it down, and then we're gonna, man, we're just all kinds of stupid because this is setting us up for direct conflict. Okay, and we're gonna say this is gonna be dangerous because it's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be there's already one person who doesn't want that, and then there may be other complications that come up along the way, assuming like they're all in one place, which they may not be. Other people may be hiding on the ship. Maybe some people are elsewhere. So let's go ahead and make our swear on iron vow straight up. And we are going to take a look at one of our moves, which is this. You swear on iron vow to resolve a dispute, negotiate an agreement, or gather allies. And this is what I'm going to pull it on, because while we may not be looking to like build a team, so to say, we're definitely doing this with the community aspect. And even though we're not making them directly, we will make it known, at least once we see them. We can tell them that we have sworn a vow to do this, to let them know how serious it is. So we will take a +1 on this one. Okay. And then to swear iron vow, so let's pop over to our quests. Here we are. Swearing on a vow, we're going to roll heart, and we're not swearing it to a connection or a bond, so we're just going to do heart, but we do get +1. And let's see what we get. It's a weak hit. Man, we're just rolling like crap. Okay, so on a weak hit, you're determined to begin your quest, but with more questions than answers. Take +1 momentum and envision what you do to find a path forward. So let's make sure that we get our +1 momentum. Start building that back up again. And I think it's kind of obvious what's happening. Well, at least it's obvious to me what's happening. We can hear some, from just down the hallway. We're not even done with our advance the next part to get to where we're gonna be. We still have to see if we can enroll against our finish an expedition thing. That's coming up next. So many things stacked up, but we're handling in the narrative, so it doesn't really matter. We can hear some yelling, some scuffling, maybe even a gunshot go off, and some yelling from down the corridor, down towards where the cargo hold is and where Kieran's ship is docked. Okay, so that spurs us on to a sense of urgency. So let's go ahead and get the rest of some of these mechanics out of the way. Number one, let's see if we can finish out our expedition. So we need to roll against this to see where it lands. We got a strong hit. That's perfect. So on a strong hit for finish your expedition, let's go ahead and flip over here. You reach your destination and complete your survey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's legacy track per expedition rank. And this was just a troublesome. So we're going to come on down to our character sheet. And then come over to Discoveries. And this was just troublesome, so we mark 1 tick. Cool. Then we come back over here. And we're going to clear that out. And let's read. Reach your destination or complete your survey. Yeah, we mark the reward, do the thing. Cool. So we did it. We got there. And I think what that looks like before we come back in and then and mark on some of these things is that we come around the corner and there's the cargo bays there. Let's review the oracles because I do want to roll up maybe a piece of interest about this cargo hold. Let's see. Buckled blast doors. That sounds cool. Anything else we want to throw in? And a map of the site. Yeah, so maybe like as we're coming around the corner to go into the area, and maybe this is part of the strong hit that we got as we finished out. Finally, now that we're here, we can see that there's like a, the you are here kind of map of the ship, but it's more of like like emergency exits, like they had, for the fire escape, go here, earthquake route, go over here. There's an emergency placard that we find coming around a corner. It's been like blown open by one of the the shots to the ship, and we can see that there's a placard that lays out here's all the parts of the ship. So that's handy. So now we have that information, which is good, and we can come back to it if we need to. But as we come around the corner, we can see that the blast door that holds this place closed has been wrecked open, whether from a person or from the battle, we don't know. It's not really important to us, but what we can definitely make out is the people who are kind of corralled into the cargo hold that's just beyond, and we can make out Kieran with his gun out. He's got like a I don't know, like a shotgun or something, we'll say. Something that would work really well up close for people, especially when there's a lot of people that are there. Shotgun feels good. And then on top of that, we can see that maybe like there's some people on the ground. There's some blood over there. People are yelling. You know, he's definitely threatening them, but in a very kind of non-caring way, because we know he's generally indifferent, as we call that. And then off on the opposite side of the room, we can see that there's like, you know, stacks of crates and boxes, and one of those things is probably the cargo box that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and make some progress, because we definitely have some progress on some of these vows that we have. So swear and iron to recover the lost goods from a penny for your thoughts. Yes. So we're going to mark this one because we have made some progress. We're now in the location where these things are at. And then I swear and iron to get the crew of penny for your thoughts to a safe haven. I feel like we've made progress here too, because now at least we've found the crew. How many do we think there are? Let's ask the Oracle. And what we're going to say is, I feel like it's likely that there's maybe like a dozen or so folks, and less likely that there is like I don't know, like a handful, you know, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and get a roll on this one. Let's close the oracles because we're good with her now, and we're gonna roll. So if it's a 26 or higher, we'll say it's a good dozen, and if it's lower than that, then it's going to be a little bit less. Just gives us an idea of how, oh, okay, so it's a little bit less. So maybe there's more bodies on the floor than we were originally considering as we walk in. A lot more blood. Maybe some, you know, we don't slip in it or anything, but some people over there are slipping. And there's a total of 3 people that are still alive that are there, and we can't really make them out from here, but they're all kind of huddled up together, and one of them is trying to protect the other and hold Kieran back, and this is what we're seeing. So Kieran doesn't see us yet, is definitely more interested in what's going on here, but this is a problem because we're not set up for direct conflict. We're not trying to that's not how we approach our problems, but this is still an issue. So I think what we need to do is we're going to try to I think what we're going to do is right next to where that emergency placard is, maybe there's like an access part, since, you know, some of the things that have been blown up around us have opened up panels and like access to wiring that we otherwise wouldn't have. And what we can see there is like a wiring panel and a console that we're going to try to get access to see if we can turn off the lights. You know, if anything, at least the ship is still running. You know, it's an emergency power, right? And like probably battery power because the main engine is down. But the lighting still works okay right now. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to gain an advantage and see if we can turn the lights off so that we can get inside there and at least get us to a better position and figure out our next move. Roland's still not sure if he wants to go for the people first, or how he's going to get the people out, or if he gets the good, like he has to get the goods and the people, and maybe he has to deal with this Kieran. It's going to be a tricky one, but first we're going to go ahead and try to secure an advantage. And we're doing this with, boy, this sure sounds like deception, stealth, or trickery, which is not really, it's not really our bag. Yeah. We're going to do Shadow, even though I feel like this is more of a wits type of situation, because we are using our expertise to figure it out. I'm going to make things a little more challenging, because I am going to try to turn the lights off and then sneak in there. So we're going to say this still is more Shadow than wits, because we're going to drop to our lowest. So let's go ahead, and of course our Shadow's a 1. So let's go ahead and pop over to Shadow and roll it up, see what we get. It's a miss with a match. Cool. So horrible. Okie dokes. It says on a miss, we fail or assumptions betray you, and we're going to pay the price. So we're going to roll on pay the price here, and then we're just going to jack up what we get, depending on what we roll. So let's go ahead and pop over to pay the price. Just all kinds of bad. And let's get a D100, and we have a 15. You face the consequences of an earlier choice. You face the consequences of an earlier choice. I feel like... Oh, I know what it is. So we go to turn the lights off, and maybe there's like a pop, and in that pop we think is going to be the lights turning off, and so the lights kind of start flickering for a moment, and we're like, oh, we can time this. We're good. We can time it. And so we start moving, and the lights flicker just enough to draw Kieran's attention to the door. And I think it's right then where the lights like go down and then they just pop back up again because the circuit's cut over to something else. And Kieran's staring there with a shotgun and just looking at us as we're trying to. Roland's kind of like half sneaking in the room. He just kind of stops like at a half crouch and sees what's going on here. And before anything else can happen, before Kieran can even step into it and try to like, who is this person? And there's like this weird dawning of, is this a member of the crew? And then there's like a sudden realization, like, wait a minute, that's the guy that I talked to outside. Before that even happens, you hear this very broken scream come from behind us, and I turn around and I can see coming down the hallway, but nobody else in the place can see it yet. Coming running down the hallway is Kyler, and Kyler has in his hands, and we can just barely make it out. We can't make it out by what's there, but we can once we see like the residue that's on his hands and kind of, you know, going up his arms too. It's the plasma back from the engine room. There was that one canister that we didn't take. We left it there, and we can see the look on Kyler's face, and it's one of like, total pain. But now that pain is turned into rage, and he's owned it, and he's grabbing this thing, and he's running with the full intention of running into the room. And actually, I think we're kind of stunned by this whole moment, and he runs past us. Kyler runs past us because we have this moment of, because I was still trying to figure out, Roland was still trying to figure out what the heck he was going to do once he even gets in there. And Kyler seizes that initiative, runs right in the room, and starts charging right towards Kieran with the unstable plasma fuel and residue. And it's kind of starting to leak out now as he runs into this room with like pops and fizzles and all kinds of stuff. And I think the immediate thing that we have to do is I think we have to face some danger. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to Kyler in time. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to Kieran in time. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to face danger, but not just for ourselves. We're going to face danger by charging into the room behind him and trying to save the people that are here. So there's the group of people from the crew that are still here. Kyler is running directly at Kieran. He look, you know, we can't see his face anymore, but we saw it when he was running in, and he definitely was coming in here with purpose in mind. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can call to the rest of the crew that's here, tell them to get down, and we're commanding them. We're commanding them to get down, and we're less caring about our own safety at this point, and seeing if we can just cut through the din of this terror that they're under to see if we can get them to safety. And then ourselves, of course, we'll see if we can jump, but it's going to be the you know, that's not the important part. So we're going to face some danger, and we're going to do it with resolve, command, or sociability, because we're commanding these people, and then we're taking on ourselves to kind of take the brunt of this thing as we jump out of the way, like at the last moment when I think this thing could explode, maybe explode. Okay, so we're going to roll to face danger with plus heart here and see how it goes. And I don't think, yeah, none of this stuff is going to really help us here. So let's go ahead and get into heart and let's see what happens. So let's roll it up. It's a weak hit. Man, we just cannot get a strong hit for the life of us. So we succeed, but at a troublesome cost. Make a suffer move at a -1. I think we obviously know what that is. We're going to take some health. A health hit. So we're not even going to roll to try to, again, because we said this was not our focus to take the hit. It's to get people down. And so, but we do get what we're looking for, which is to get people down. So we're rolling charges into the room right behind Kyler, charging at Kieran with this unstable plasma container. It's clear. Everybody sees the slow motion of the camera as it cuts across. You can see Kieran is looking to blow this guy up and not really caring about what happens after that. He's made his peace, whatever that looks like. And Roland is not going to let that action go without effect. And so he steps in directly behind Kyler and yells in a very commanding tone to the other 3 people who are still alive, the other 3 crew members that are still alive, to get down. And then as I see them getting down, and I'm even pointing back behind where, some of the crates are nearby, there's a couple stacked heavier metals or materials crates that I think that they could potentially take the blast from. before I dive out of the way. So I'm going to be enduring harm with a -2. As I feel like this is a pretty big blast that's going to hit me pretty bad. So my health goes down to a 3. And then I'm going to take the endure harm move. Whew. And I have to roll health or iron, whichever's higher. Thankfully, the health is a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and roll other at a 3. See what we get. It's a weak hit. Okay, so endure harm, weak hit. If you're not wounded, which we're not, you can lose momentum in exchange for +1 health. Otherwise, you press on. I'm not going to. I want to maintain the momentum. We got to start getting this thing a little bit higher because we're still not out of the thick of things. So I'm going to take the health hit. Oh, look at all these things slowly ticking down. So Roland, he jumps out of the way a little too late, and maybe he can't even get behind some of the boxes that are nearby. He just drops to the floor, and as they get to as Kyler gets close enough, Kieran doesn't realize what's in his hands. Doesn't realize that this plasma, the plasma gas, the unstable plasma, is leaking out, and that Kyler's doing that on purpose. And he turns over, Kieran levels the shotgun and puts a shot directly into his chest. And if that didn't kill him, if that didn't kill Kyler, then the triggering explosion just from that little bit of primer kick that comes off from the shotgun, it ignites it. And in the enclosed space, it blasts Kieran back. Kyler's dead, 100%. There's no doubt about that. He was holding the thing, and it just goes off like a powder keg. We'll roll in a second to see if Kieran is still alive. He might be. And then the three remaining crew members of A Penny for Your Thoughts, they managed to dive behind. We're gonna say that they're singed. They take some injuries, but largely the cargo container that they jumped behind took the brunt. And I am like, I have like bad second-degree burns on like my arm and like the side of my neck, and maybe I've singed a bunch of my hair on the left-hand side from this blast that's coming in. Yikes. Okay. And let's just go ahead and roll right now to see. Well, number one, let's take a look at our challenges. I swear on iron to get the crew for Penny of Your Thoughts to safe haven. Even if Kieran is alive, he's going to be out of action regardless. So we're going to mark progress on this because that helps us considerably. And then this could be a problem. To recover the lost goods from A Penny for Your Thoughts. Okay, we're going to make 2 oracle rolls here. And I don't know why I'm doing this because it's always bad. It's always bad. No, the second one is actually not going to be an oracle roll. It's going to be a gather information to see if we can find out where the goods are. We're not going to leave that up to the oracle. But we are going to ask the oracle to see if Kieran is still alive. Now, I think it's very unlikely. It's almost certain that he is dead. That Kieran is dead. And almost certain means on an 11 or greater on a D100, he is dead. So we're going to roll a D100. Kieran is dead. Kieran is quite dead. Kieran is like, not fine pink mist dead. But anything that he was carrying on him is destroyed. It's wrecked. He was probably even standing next to where the docking port on his ship was. I like that because this is the only crew we see, but he may have been moving crew back aboard his ship. And now the docking mechanism has been like dislodged somehow. And there's a problem there. Maybe there's like an imminent breach. I like that. There's like an imminent breach that's about to happen just on the airlock door to throw even more complication into this. Love it. Cool. But Kieran is super dead. Kyler he's fine pink mist. Okay. And we pick ourselves up, we brush ourselves off, we take a look and see what's going on. And the immediate threat, straight off the bat, is the door that's in front of us, the cargo airlock that's connected to Kieran's ship. And it's super dodgy, and the ship is still shaking. Oh, and by the way, I think we've rolled enough bad to on here, and especially with that big explosion, that I think it's drawn more attention on the outside to the Kindred Suns and the battle that's happening. That this is just, we're advancing the clock. It's drawing more attention to us, acting as a reminder. Okay, we need to deal with that door. So I think we're going to try to secure an advantage because we need to stabilize the door. So the move we're going to make is secure an advantage, I think it's called. Yep, secure an advantage. And we're going to use this with expertise, focus, and observation. We're using our technical skill to see if we can fix it. And maybe I'm even calling over to one of the people to see, you know, hey, are you engineer, anybody? I'm taking a look to see, how likely is it, do you think that there's an engineer? I think it is, I think it's 50-50. I'm going to give it a 50-50 that there is an engineer, an obvious engineer that's in this trio of survivors from A Penny for Your Thoughts that's here. So let's go ahead and 51 or higher, there is one. 50. Oh, okay. So no, one of them's like, oh, I know how to make gingerbread houses. Is that good enough? Like, no, it's not. And Roland just goes directly to the door, and he's going to try to do a quick repair on this thing. So we're going to secure an advantage using our wits. So let's go ahead and give it a go. A weak hit again. Yeah, because, you know, we can't get anything more than a weak hit. So securing an advantage. On strong, we got to take both, but here we got to take only one. We can either take +2 momentum or +1 on our next move. I'm going to take the 2 momentum. I feel like we're really starting to roll this thing forward now. Things are starting, I want to say things are starting to go our way after that massive explosion, and you know, you can still smell the burning flesh on Roland's arm. You know, and there's like little still smoking hair faintly wafting, and everything's just a scorch in this room. It's great. So we're going to bump our momentum up to 6, super helpful. But we managed to secure it. You know, it doesn't take us very long. We're not looking to fix this thing. We just want to, and we go over and there's, you know, on most ships, for something like this is like the emergency docking mechanism, and this is where we're going to introduce a little bit of a complication, is, you know, you can hit the switch, and what it does is it does like a hard seal to a ship, you know, in case of serious emergencies. So we push this button, we have to, you know, crank up a handle and then turn a knob, because, you know, it's a, are you really sure you want to do this kind of a thing? And a hard seal goes out and fuses itself, like, you know, like a hot burn, like arc welding fuses itself to the hull of a ship to lock it in place. And we don't have access to the ship yet, but at least it's secure and it's not going to come off. So that was exactly what we wanted. Really good. And I think now we take stock for a moment we're going to go over to the people who are here, and we're going to make sure that they're okay. Yeah, we're going to make sure they're okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, I want to try to get them to not think about the situation they're in and to instead get up and help me. You know, both Roland is doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I don't have time for this. Right now, I really need to, I want to help them, but we need to get them moving. And I don't want them thinking about all the crazy stuff that's happening. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be commanding. I'm going to be compelling them to get up and help me find, you know, and I pull out like a data pad, like a really crappy data pad, and I'm flipping through and I'm showing them a picture. This is probably really confusing because explosion and death and all these people dying also, and then, oh, get over there, jump over here, and then as soon as everything is settled, I come up to them and I show them a data pad with a picture of a cargo container on it and the RFID tag, and I say, get up and find this. Get up now, find this. Help me look around. And so we're going to compel them to do this immediately, and we're probably going to roll this into a gather information as we try to search around. So first, we're going to try to do our compel. So let's go ahead and roll our heart, because we're encouraging, we're commanding them to do this thing. We're not threatening them. So first, let's get our heart in there. It's a miss with a match, huh? Wow. That was even a 9. I rolled a 9 in total, and then I got 10s for both. So they refuse or make a demand which costs us greatly, and I pay the price. These folks are not being very accommodating. They're not being accommodating. I could roll a pay a price, but I think I know what's going to happen here. I think they think, because everything was happening too fast, that I was part of Kieran's crew. I think that's what's happening. Because like I came in and I was just, they didn't see me trying to hide. I didn't tell them anything about it. I just told them to dive. And I think it's a little too much. It's a little bit overwhelming. And one of them maybe runs over and tries to pick up the pallet opening things, like a specialized tool for cargo. And the one person who was trying to stand over the top of everybody, and let's actually roll that up in just a second here. The one person that was trying to stand over the top of everybody and protect the other two, everybody, the 3 that were there, is going to try to confront me and try to attack me because they think that I'm a member of Kieran's crew, and all I'm looking to do is just get what I want, get out of here, and then probably take them with us. So that's I think our pay the price and how we make things complicated and how they're refusing to help me out with this. So super great. Yeah, that's super great. So let's go ahead and roll up who this person is, because I'm curious. So we're gonna come over to oracles. We're gonna go to characters, and let's close up a roller, and we want to roll up. So Ash is graceful, and her disposition is wanting, and she's also looking for a bit of a fight. Like, you know, she just saw Kieran go down, and now the tides, from their perspective, the tide is turned. You know, from in her mind, this is opportunity, chance to be able to survive this thing and get out of here. And so Ash comes at me with this thing, and I think I need to. I don't want to fight her. I think what I'm gonna do is, you know, I have my own, you know, like my crowbar, my tools, and I have my data pad, and I put my hands up like this, and Roland steps back and says, hey, I'm your friend. I'm trying to get you out of here. And now I'm going to make another compel move, but if I don't, I'm going to get nailed upside the head, and this is going to go real bad. So we're going to try to make another compel move to try to get them to easy down. And I'm basically just making myself not prone, but I'm, you know, if she wants to crank me, she could totally crank me. This could knock me the heck out if I roll badly enough to it. And I think we're just setting ourselves up for when we roll another miss with a match, then we know exactly what's going to happen, and that's bad. So let's give it a go. Let's do it. So we're going to do heart again, roll it up, and it's a miss. And I don't think we can use a momentum because it's not high enough. Well, at least it's not... So they refuse to make a demand, which costs you... They refuse or make a demand, which costs you greatly pay the price. So I think what's going to happen here, because I said no. So she's going to nail me, and then she's going to... That's the pay the price. And then she, you know, maybe that's the one where she kind of stops and then makes the demand. Because she did hear that I'm trying to help them. So I think what happens is that she just nails me upside the head. And I have to make a... I'm gonna make a suffer move. So this is a -2 because she full on cocks me real bad. So this is, oh man, this could knock me out. So let's go ahead and hop over to endure. Harm. Okay, health or iron, whichever is higher. Our iron is definitely higher. So let's go ahead and get a roll. So we kit. If you're not wounded, which we're not, thankfully, we can lose momentum in exchange for +1 health, which we're gonna do. So this is slowing us down a little bit. This is definitely this is definitely not the way we wanted this to go. It was looking our way and then immediately just went right back down again. And you know, this we know would have taken, you know, the other side of our head off effectively. But she nails with this thing, and we see it kind of coming a little bit, and so we kind of turn with a blow, but it still cranks us right in the face with this big metal objects and drops me to the floor. Something awful. And I'm still reeling and seeing stars. And I think that's the moment where she pauses. And she looks at me and says, you know, she says, wait a minute. You're what? And I think she's kind of grappling in this moment. And I kind of start struggling to get to my feet again. And she rises again up above her head with, you know, with this big tool. And I kind of just stay on the ground and I look at her. I say, hey, I'm not your enemy. I was just here to find out what happened to the ship. I was sent by Mayfarin. I came from Reprise Station. I was just here to find out what happened. And all I was trying to look for is some of the cargo that's here. There's some cargo VM hardened chipsets that are here. And now as I'm talking to her, it's starting to sink in. Like I'm saying things that make her go, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. And she's starting to ease down, or she's 100% still on her guard. And I can just continue, keep pumping information to kind of let her know, no, I'm legit, it's okay. And she's settling down again, and I say, I will get you out of here. I will get you. I have a ship. I can get you out of here. And I think she kind of points it down to me, you know, this tool, and she says, you have a ship. Says you're gonna get us up, and you're gonna take us there now. And I'm okay with that. So she's demanding that I do this thing. But at least I've gotten I've gotten their buy-in. The next time something goes sideways, or she might consider something that I'm doing is non-legit, she might just bludgeon me into unconsciousness again. But I'm okay with this right now. So let's go ahead and come back over to our challenges, and we're gonna mark our progress again on to get the Penny for Your Thoughts crew to a safe haven, because now I've got them, at least the ones that are here, to come with me. So we're gonna mark progress. But there's still something I have to do. I still need to find the goods, and I think I already mentioned this. Ash was okay with it, and she kind of just walks behind me. She doesn't help me up, for damn sure, but she's okay with me looking around to try to find the goods and get them out of here, so long as I do it quick. That's the key thing there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start looking around, and they're sure as hell not gonna help me, and we're gonna do some gather information to see if I can figure out where it is. Hopefully it's still aboard a Penny for Your Thoughts and hasn't been moved over to the other ship. That could happen. We'll have to see how this rolls up. And we're going to use our wits, but I popped our character sheet because we're going to be able to use Scavenger, because we're going to gather information on a wreck, and we get to add +1 and take plus momentum on a hit. So hopefully we actually get a hit this time. So we're going to use our wits. We're going to get a +1 add from Scavenger. And we're going to see how we do. We're going to see when we're just looking through, we're trying to find like a manifest list. We're just looking around at boxes. You know, I have the picture on some of my pad. Let's see if we can find it. Jesus, I cannot get anything going. So on a miss for gather information, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. Well, we know what this is going to be. I'm gonna roll on pay the price too, because this is just going all kinds of bad. But I think we know what happened now. Like, we look around, and like everything on this ship, all the cargo on the ship that was supposed to be here, still here, except for one box. And that one box, you know, as we're looking around, like, where's this one box at? And maybe like even like one of the, you know, the camera kind of slow pans over to like a console that's in here that can keep track, that Roland hasn't seen yet. It's like an automatic cargo scanner that can track the RFID that's on the ship. There's only one piece of cargo that's missing, and that one piece of cargo is like, it matches the RFID, and then the camera cuts. We can still hear the audio of us looking around. The camera cuts over to the inside of Kieran's ship, and we can see, as a slow pan out, we see the box of cargo that matches the RFID, and it scrolls back and pans back a little bit more, and we can see two other people that are unconscious and bound and tied up inside of Kieran's ship's cargo hold, which is behind that locked ship. And that's something we'll have to get into next time. So that takes us to the end of our session. So thank you for joining us. Roland, once again, getting into some crazy shenanigans. We can't seem to get anything going for us. Just, you know, we'll get this glimmer of hope only to be knocked down to the ground again. And then, oh, but maybe, no. So all kinds of bad. Oh, and while we have that last miss, let's make sure that we remember to get this out of the way, and then just bump that up a little bit more. So we're getting real close to before we have even bigger problem. But that's all for next time. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. See y'all soon.